in the Bank, somebody walked out with the Money in the Bank briefcase. That is the senior Money in the Bank. That is Damian Priest.
Why is he only Spanish when it's convenient?
The same reason why they always said that fucking Rey Mysterio was from San Diego, and now he's part of the LWO and representing Latin fucking heritage. Let's fucking be real here.
Fair.
But, I mean, you can be Latin from San Diego.
Well, but the problem was he never used to walk around wearing red, green, and white like he was fucking Viva Mexico. And they put him as the leader of the LWO with Santos Escobar because that wasn't getting over. And now they're like, Viva la Resistance.
It's a weird tonal thing for me, Priest, though, because he'll be like, I am the Judgment Day. Call me Pop. Like, it's a weird, like, it doesn't mesh together the right way. It's like when Drake tries to sound hard in a song. Like, I love you, but...
He's so true about that. Yeah, it's a great analogy.
Are you friends with Fred Van Vliet? Thank you. You got that one. I appreciate it. Thank you.
God damn it. God.
Did you see that Britney Spears got slapped by the security guard of Vincent Wembanyama?
Yep. Saw that. You even commented it too.
Victor
Wembanyama.
They fucking smacked her with a fucking Creole sauce.
What? Creoles. Off the rails.
What the hell is even that?
This is the rails.
Somebody have a dry erase board because I'm just gonna mark the states that were officially canceled in.
Yeah.
See what has me go here.
Way out of line. Way out of line.
You literally just lost the entire Southeast. See you later, Louisiana. See you later, fucking Texas.
Bye-bye, bitch.
Yeah, all of it. Mixed Creole sauce. Now we're fucking canceling all of them because they're gonna tell you that first off that was a waste of Creole sauce, and then they would have said you should have never slapped a woman. So we're gonna get canceled for one of them. I mean, whichever one you want to, it's fine.
But I'll be honest, but you finish introing the.
I'm trying to. Senior Money in the Bank has walked out with the briefcase, Damian Priest of the Judgment Day, much to the chagrin of every. I can't say every because I don't know where Joe stood on it. To the chagrin of myself and at least the other half of the Fat Siders over there, who we thought it should have been L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Okay, but wait a second. While we're here.
Oh, here we go.
What did LA Knight lose by not winning?
What state are we going to get canceled in for this next comment?
No, it's
anybody want to say? Anybody say?
No, it's a question to you guys. What did LA Knight lose by not winning?
He's fine.
Probably the most over person in that match.
Oh, he's fine.
Like, here's the deal. Did I want LA Knight to win? Yeah. Did I think that LA Knight winning would have been the best choice? Yeah. Is Damian Priest winning the Money in the Bank a perfectly fine consolation prize? Yeah.
Well, you say you didn't like it though. When I saw a tweet on Saturday saying
I didn't like it, and I don't like it because the guy that I really thought should have won it didn't win it. But I can also look at it objectively and understand that Damian Priest winning it is totally fine.
It also makes sense because a SmackDown competitor winning Mr. Money in the Bank was fucking useless, especially if you don't plan on having Roman lose the title between now and fucking WrestleMania. Because when are they going to be able to cash in on Seth Rollins or whoever the World Heavyweight Champion is? Summerfest, Survivor Series. They're not going to show up on a random fucking December show, or they shouldn't. They're not going to show up on an episode of Raw after somebody gets beat up and fucking cash in Money in the Bank because they're not on that roster. Why would they be there?
If we're being honest, though, LA Knight belongs on Raw.
Correct. Said that from the draft.
Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing, and this is what I said on 3CT as well. Guess who is about 6 weeks older than LA Knight?
Bailey.
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest. How old's Bailey, by the way?
36.
She's not 40. Get out of here.
36, 35?
34.
Oh, okay.
She just turned 34. but Priest and LA Knight are both about to turn 41.
Holy shit!
In the next couple of months. So all of the reasons that I said, if you're going to strike now with LA Knight, the same goes to Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably, the miles may be harder. The miles ran may be harder on Damian Priest.
I would agree with that assessment.
He's worked indies. He used to be a big boy. Okay.
Yeah.
He used to be, I mean, pushing probably 400 pounds.
Are you serious?
You motherfucker.
Yeah, he used to
I've
be,
never seen it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, because, well, first off, you walked away from all wrestling for 20 years. And he, yeah, like when he first got into the business, he was big.
Was Punch Martinez gimmick was the big one or no?
He was the eradicator of the Little Caesars.
Jesus Christ.
This cannot be real life.
So, you know, just that in and of itself being that big. Now, obviously, he's worked himself into tremendous shape.
Like Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther as well.
Gunther's a real good example of that. That man, woof.
But you know, LA Knight has always looked about the same, you know.
He was Eli Drake.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the same shape. I mean, even you go back, you know, years ago, he used, you know, there's been spots where he's done, you know, dropping. So the miles may be harder on Damian Priest.
LA Knight looks like Brian Cage without the steroid prescription.
That's true.
Look at this. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he was.
Holy shit.
You're a big motherfucker.
If I saw this picture, I would not know it was him. If I saw this picture randomly.
So now, and here's the thing. LA Knight, because he is a single star who is super charismatic and all of that, he can always get heated up to where he's at now. Damian Priest probably isn't going to be any hotter than he is at this point with where the Judgment Day is and where Dom and Rhea and Finn, like this may be the peak. So you might like, yeah, I still think LA Knight was the right answer, but like, it's like Jeopardy. I mean, you may have a right answer, but it's not the answer they're looking for.
I mean, I'll say this: if LA Knight was on Raw and didn't walk out with the briefcase, I'd be more pissed off than I am now. Because at this point, I think the logical way to get LA Knight to a point of where he needs to be without the briefcase is to walk into Ford Field in a little under a month and, you know, defeat a certain person who hasn't lost the U.S. title yet.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of Ford Field with the U.S. title so that he has a reason to be the main draw on SmackDown while Roman Reigns is taking a hiatus or involved in just promos. LA Knight can be the magnet and the generator of you know, great TV on the Blue brand while that's going on. So, you know, pencil me in for the way to get me back on track to not be as mad as I was on Saturday afternoon would be to have him walk out of Ford Field with the United States title.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you on that one.
That being said, I don't have a problem. I'm not as upset. Like, here's the thing: if you were not going to let LA Knight walk out with it because of the show he's on, and not being able to cash in there, like, I don't think you could have let Logan Paul walk out with it so that he could put it on TV on a show that wasn't your own. So the fact that, you know, we sat here, we decided to go with somebody from the Raw brand also makes sense because a woman from the SmackDown brand walked out with the women's title. So you got a briefcase on both shows for a little while. Like that idea. But I guess to finish the lead into the topic here, as we kind of kick it off here, how do you book Damian Priest with the briefcase? I'll start, and then you guys can branch off to whatever you guys want. I think it's fairly a simple thought process here. A lot of people are saying that this is, well, Finn's going to get another shot at Summerfest. You know, Damian cashes in during that match, makes it a triple threat, or cashes in on Finn afterwards, and that's how they kick Finn out of the Judgment Day. I would do something a small bit different. I don't think Finn Balor should get the world title match at SummerSlam. He's had the last two. I think it's time that we move in a different direction for the world heavyweight title. But I want Damian Priest involved and always being around with the briefcase. I do inevitably think that Damian Priest will successfully cash in on the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know that I do it as early as SummerSlam. I kind of want him walking around with the briefcase for a little while. I'm more of a post-Survivor Series world where a Roman Reigns defeats the World Heavyweight Champion in a champion versus champion match at Survivor Series. Somebody picks up the Roman Reigns bones to win the title there.
I like that.
So I'm more of a whomever comes out of Ford Field with the title loses to Roman. Priest gets his moment to close Survivor Series. Because I wouldn't put the Bloodline in War Games this year. They had their War Games match last year, so I would go World Champion versus World Champion in that regards. Or if you want to do a Team Blue led by a champion Roman Reigns versus a Team Red led by a champion Seth Rollins, and then post War Games, Damian Priest picks up the pieces and pins the champion. I'm okay with that as well. Or maybe Priest is on Team Raw in the War Games match, and during the match turns on Seth, cashes in Money in the Bank, and wins the title in some way, shape, or form. Or maybe that's how the match ends. He turns on him, they pin him, he cashes in Money in the Bank and walks out of Survivor Series with the world title. And then the next night on Raw would be the end of Finn Balor in the Judgment Day for me. Finn loses his mind because Finn sees himself as the leader. Rhea, Dom, and Damian see themselves as equals, so they don't have a leader. They all have a common goal because they kicked the last guy who thought he was the leader out in Edge. So maybe those three see themselves as equals, and they all have the common, what's best for everybody in mind. And that's the end of
that's perfect, actually. And to me, like I think more to your point, I want this to cook a little longer. I want this to last, as you said, into November, December. Let it settle a little bit to the point where we may even forget about it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he cashed in the briefcase, like randomly. Like to me, doing it on Survivor Series, like you said, is actually as random as you can get, really. Because I think anybody would, if he's off TV, say for like a couple weeks, and you have this random like red versus blue match, and then Roman wins, and then they pick up the bones off of whoever loses that match, boom, right there. That'd be a shock, and that would actually make Survivor Series, coming out of Survivor Series, a even more watchable product in past tense. So yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easy answer is to whether it's SummerSlam, which I don't think it should be that quick, but SummerSlam, Survivor Series, somewhere in between there, heading towards Royal Rumble, have the continued kind of push and pull between the quote unquote leadership of the Judgment Day. But for me, and it's kind of my thought process, because I think that's going to get your best reaction, whether it's, Priest being, because let's be honest, if you've been kind of paying attention, Priest is subtly and slowly getting cheers. Okay, like he is in a heel faction, but he is getting cheered. So like I think there's also a case of Finn kind of taking this stance of like, hey, I'm in charge here. You're going to listen to me, and you're going to do this more when I want you to do this, as opposed to like you calling your shot and like picking the bones when it's Rollins and Riddle at SummerSlam, or Rollins and whomever at Survivor Series or whatever. And finally Priest just has the shits of it and is like, piss off, like, I'm going to do it when I want. And like, even then you could do whether it's, Fastlane or whatever, Finn wins, and that's when Priest tells him to fuck off and beats Finn and leaves the Judgment Day behind and stands on his own. So that's going to be the dynamic to watch. Is can as we start to see the splintering of Judgment Day over the next weeks and months, is it Finn that's getting the face reaction from people, or is it Priest? And that's going to tell you where this is going. Because, I mean, unless we're talking about Priest holding it past Mania next year, I don't think he's cashing in on the Universal title.
Or what if he keeps it and we get the return of Demon Finn against Priest at Rumble or Mania? Because Demon Finn is going to get cheered.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where, is Priest getting a smattering of cheers right now? Probably because everybody knows how good his match was against our good friend Bad Bunny. And coming out of the Money in the Bank, those guys always tend to get cheered because fans are hoping to see a shocking cash in so that they can say that I was there. So when I look at it from the regards of who's in Judgment Day, who's out of Judgment Day, if this potentially leads to Demon Finn making a return to seek revenge on Damian Priest for turning on him, like, Demon Finn I don't think is ever getting booed. So that's just my stance on Finn. And
the obvious one is the Finn angle. Seth loses, Finn wins, and he cashes on Finn and they break up. That's way too obvious. And in fact, I don't think they're gonna go that route, because if anything we learned from Triple H's booking this the past year, which we'll get to in a second, obviously it's a lot more unpredictable than we realize. So,
do you think the Judgment Day, and I say the Judgment Day because Finn is technically still in Judgment Day as of right now, do you think they add JD McDonough? Do you think Finn goes and tries to get him so he has somebody more that he trusts? Because on Monday when Rhea was like, "Oh, I talked to Finn," and Dom looked at her and was like, "You've talked to Finn?" Like, is this Finn alienating himself from Dom and Damian because he doesn't trust them because they're running buddies and things like that? And now it's, "Oh, I'm number one."
Just put me off, by the way.
I mean, too. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of possibilities with that. That's what's great about him holding the briefcase right now.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm actually fascinated by this, but there's more than anything else. I mean, as much as I want LA to win, also Damian winning it actually is a little more fascinating because of the dynamics between the group and all that.
Do you have anything to add on Damian Priest holding Money in the Bank? How would you book his Money in the Bank run?
I'm gonna need Dusty Rhodes.
Jesus
Christ.
No,
I like it. I like him being Money in the Bank winner. I like the infighting with him and Finn. I don't know that I think he's gonna win the world title out of this. I don't know that he needs to necessarily, but I think they're going to tell some fun stories on the way there either way. So
he did say, though, after the match on Saturday that he can cash for any title. He mentioned the U.S. title and all this other stuff in addition to the world title.
We know that. Last year taught us that.
I'm just wondering if that can play too, also booking wise.
I mean, I think there's all options on the table, but I don't know that we see a cash in on something other than a top tier title for a second year in a row. I'll say
Nor
that.
should we? Nor should we, honestly.
You win the fucking Intercontinental title from Big Gunther?
No, I think whether he wins the title or not,
I mean, I'd be surprised to now.
the cash in is on the big titles, one of the big titles.
In fact, the added a second title now makes it more prevalent now to do that.
I agree.